Let us show love to this YouTube channel. Let us give this video a like. Today's video, I'm going to talk about two issues. Issue number one is about Marwa and the land. Issue number two, it's about the injured horse. In yesterday's Marwa's video, Marwa came wearing Jamaican t-shirt. As always, when you see Marwa with Jamaican t-shirt, just know that activation for the nation is on. Let me start by saying, Marwa asked for 2,000 USD on camera to buy land for his uncle, but here's the real questions that I'm going to ask. Who will own that piece of land? Will the title deed be in uncle's name, shown publicly and verified? Because the same subscribers who are contributing toward that land require accountability. Or are donors just expected to trust the process the way they have been trusting the process? And we are going to talk about the horse, the injured horse, weak, fallen, losing weight, clearly suffering, because I've done videos before advising for humane option, and the humane option is euthanasia, to let the animal rest. Let me say this: when money and suffering are involved, emotions are not enough. Transparency and responsibility really matters a lot. Today's video, I'm going to make a deep analysis about these issues. Watch this clip one by one and let us dive deep. Let us begin.
Those who want to contribute for my uncle, the space I've showed you, if we get the 2,000, we can get him a small piece of land. But if we don't, we can. You can contribute, and it doesn't have to be 2,000. You can contribute even $1, because guys, if 10,000 of you just contribute $1, that's 10,000. And me also, I will contribute probably $1,000+ for my uncle. And here we have our healing horse. I'm told last night he fall on the ground. He fall on the ground because he was sleeping. She's really lost weight, really lost weight, really lost weight. God will fight for you, girl. We are also doing the best for her. Even today we are receiving medicines for her.
Beautiful people, beautiful individuals, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this amazing YouTube channel that goes by the name Maxwell Lumumba Africa. Maxwell Lumumba is my name, a village content creator born and raised in a village setup with no jobs. But at the end of the day, our sustainability will depend on content creation to earn a living. That being that, for those who are not subscribed to this amazing YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, and share this video to other individuals. Remember to turn on the notification bell so that any day, anytime I post any video, you people get updated. Watch my videos till the end. Having said that, let me take this opportunity to thank all the individuals who show love to this YouTube channel, those individuals who support this YouTube channel either directly, indirectly. And today let me answer a question that some of the subscribers usually ask me, that do I hold any difference with Marwa himself? Let me say this: I don't hold any difference or any grudge with anybody. What I do, I'm just doing my own analysis video. And today's analysis video, let me start by saying this video is not emotional, this video is not personal, this video is about logic. As always, I usually ask questions to Marwa, so as Marwa can respond to those questions, because when something does not add up, we are allowed to ask questions. And I usually give example with a lot of countries, Kenya included, where Kenya we have opposition. The work of opposition is to oversight what the government does. The same way to content creation, especially when it comes to charity and when it comes to let me say self things, yeah. And that is why I usually ask questions, and that is what I usually do. And today I'm going to react to Marwa's video about the uncle, that is Uncle Ogutu. Let me talk about the first thing I noticed. Before the story even begins, Marwa puts on Jamaican t-shirt, and by now we all know what that means because I've already done videos about that, explaining that when you see Marwa putting on Jamaican t-shirt, just know that that is activation mode. That is donation psychology switched on, and even says it clearly that this is going to be a series this week.
Guys, this week will be the story of my uncle, Uncle Ogutu. And if you're just joining and wondering, who is this Uncle Ogutu? Please watch the video from the start. Even the best thing is watch the video from yesterday, because this will be a series for Uncle Ogutu. Don't miss out this series, guys. It's gonna go until maybe we will see. If we get funds to start his house, we can build that house in 10 days, guys.
A series for Uncle Ogutu, so that to make sure Uncle Ogutu gets donation or Uncle Ogutu gets help. So this is not a one-off story. This is a planned content arc. Some people will be asking, why Jamaica? As we know, Marwa has a lot of followers, a lot of subscribers come from Jamaica. Let me just give it an overall, the Caribbean nation, yeah? And Jamaica is one of it. So him wearing Jamaica, because look at the history. The Jamaicans are the one who have been coming to the villa. A lot of people who send donation to Marwa himself are Jamaican. So that shows you how the trend goes. Let me now talk about the story setup. Marwa explains his uncle needs help. He talks about cousins and nephews finding a wife for the uncle.
It's my uncle who chose the lady, so. But I think the sisters of my uncle, the nephews and cousins of my uncle helped him get that lady, because that lady comes from where they are coming from.
Let me pause there. Can someone just bring a wife like a delivery? Marriage is not a parcel. It is not charity content. But notice how emotion is being layered. Loneliness, poverty, family responsibility. This is classic sympathy staking. Let me talk about the land begging moment. Because Marwa says there is someone in the village with a small portion of land selling it for 2,000 USD. And he starts begging. He says, I'm not forcing anyone, but I'm begging. Let's slow down and think. This is his uncle. Marwa owns lands. Marwa has shown land. Marwa has benefited massively from subscribers. So here is the fair question. Why beg subscribers to buy land for your uncle when you already own a lot of land yourself? That is not hate, that's logic. And I'm going to ask serious questions, because I know people will be coming through, and there is serious question that I'm going to ask. I think somebody is going to answer, and the person who is going to answer this question is Marwa himself. Let me ask a question that any reasonable person will ask. Number one, why the land priced in USD? In a village setup, land is quoted in Kenyan shillings, not dollars. Answer that question, number one. Question number two, Who will own the land after the purchase? Will the title deed be Uncle Ogutu's name? Or will it be shown publicly? Or are we just told, trust me? That is question number 2. Question number 3. How will subscribers verify anything once money is sent? Who follows up? Who confirms ownership? Who ensures it wasn't already family land? These are not accusations. These are accountability questions. Let me talk about the trust gap, because here is where trust becomes an issue. If 2,000 USD is raised, subscribers don't see the transaction, they don't see the seller, they don't see the title deed, they don't see registration, so the entire system relies on blind trust, and blind trust is dangerous, especially when money is involved. Marwa goes ahead and says that he wants to build this house in the next 10 days. Let me ask this simple question. In 10 days, how will you process this title deed so that to read Uncle Ogutu name?
If we get funds to start his house, we can build that house in 10 days, guys. You know me, how I do. I don't play around. I don't play around when it comes to building.
Let me actually discuss about the USD problem. Let me go back to this. A villager selling land does not say 2,000 USD. They usually say that 200,000 shillings, 300,000 shillings, 400,000 shillings. USD pricing tells me one thing. The price is framed for donors, not from the seller. That alone should make people pause. Let me say about the begging disclaimer trick. Marwa always say that I'm not forcing anyone, but then he proceeds by begging. This is important. Saying I'm not forcing anyone does not remove influence. When you have power, have emotional stories, have a loyal donor base, this still pressure, just politely packaged. Let me talk about the pattern, not the incidents, because this is not about one uncle. This follows a pattern. Emotional family story, Jamaican t-shirt, series announcement, specific money amount, public begging, no verification system. Pattern matters more than intentions. Let me say this clearly. Helping family is normal. Helping elders is good, but crowdfunding without transparency. And let me repeat this. Crowdfunding. For those who understand what I mean by crowdfunding without transparency, brings emotional pressure, what we call a foreign currency framing, no documentation. That is where questions must be asked. Not for hate, not for jealousy, questions. If everything is clean, then transparency should not be the problem. And if questions make people uncomfortable, then maybe the problem is not the question. Let me now talk about the injured horse.
And here we have our healing horse. I'm told last night he fell on the ground. He fell on the ground because he was sleeping. She's really lost weight, really lost weight. Really lost weight.
Marwa's come on camera again. He has shown us the injured horse. He has stated that the horse fell down last night and that the horse has lost significant weight. That information very important because clinically it changes everything. I want to explain what this means from my point of view, and at this stage we must talk honestly about rest, quality of life, and humane decision. Let me start with the fall. When a healthy horse False. It is usually due to sleeping or environmental factor. But when an injured horse falls, especially one with a non-weight bearing limb, that fall is not accidental, it is predictable. A horse cannot properly load one limb, shift weight to the other limbs. That causes imbalance, fatigue, pain, and instability. Eventually, the body fails to compensate and the horse collapses. From my perspective again, a fall in this context mean the injury has progressed, the limb can no longer support the balance, the risk of catastrophic injury has increased. This is serious. Now let us talk about weight loss. Horses do not lose weight quickly without a reason. When an injured horse loses weight, it usually means chronic pain, reduced appetite, physiological stress, depression, or ongoing systematic inflammation. This tells us something very important. The problem is no longer just the leg, the problem is now the whole animal. At this point, we are no longer dealing with simple orthopedic injury, we are dealing with a welfare issue. As me, when I look at the full picture, a limb injury that prevents weight bearing, a prolonged recovery period, a horse that has now actually fallen, a visible weight loss, I must be honest. The prognosis for this, returning to riding is extremely poor. Returning to athletic use is not realistic. Returning to normal quality of life is very doubtful. At this stage, veterinary medicine changes focus. We move from asking how to fix these to asking how to prevent suffering. This is where the conversation about humane euthanasia begins. I want to be very clear. Euthanasia is not punishment. It is not failure. It is not cruelty. In veterinary medicine, euthanasia is considered when pain is ongoing or worsening, structural damage is irreversible, the animal cannot move safely, and quality of life is declining. Continued treatment only prolongs suffering. Marwa himself says that there are some drugs that are coming. Let me submit these publicly. Hate me, like me. There are some two vets who came from Nairobi they came there and monitored that situation. They never handled that horse, and for me, I really understand the reason why they never handled that horse. This reminds me about my aunt that actually we buried her last month. My aunt was in the first hospital and he was given transfer to another hospital, but that hospital refused to receive her. And when we tried to take her to the other hospital, of which this other hospital, we had to use somebody who knows that other hospital so that we could rescue our aunt. But this went on pain and she died. Relating this to this issue, the reason why the vets from Nairobi never attend to this horse is because you won't expect me, this horse, has been handled with another vet without a transfer, without a statement, or without a description of what has been happening to this horse. Now you want me to start treating that horse. That will not happen. These people just came and said, we're not going to handle this horse. This situation is very worse, and they left. And nowhere Marwa has shown that on camera. Another issue, and this is not diminishing anybody. Before the vet that is attending to this horse started attending to this horse, I remember questioning about the bandages that were placed to this limb. It is now very evident that that bandage is not a vet who placed that bandage, but that the people, the staffs, the Marwa staff are the people who tied that bandage to that injury. And let me say this, that bandage was tied unprofessionally, and the vet who attended to that horse is a vet who is under internship. He has no skills, he has no exposure to horses. Let me leave alone about cattle. He has no skills to horses. And that is not an allegation. That is the truthful statement that I'm saying. And I know the vet. I usually say that anything pertaining animals, I have to get the information. The vet is my good friend. I have to acknowledge that. I know him personally. He learned in Eldoret. Now he's doing internship. Yeah, he's doing internship right now. So I've been I've been saying severally that never look at the amount of money that somebody asks you. Look at, will this situation be reversed? And I've always said that. Leaving that aside, let me say this. Based on what has been stated publicly, euthanasia is a medically and ethical valid option that must be considered. Not decided by emotion, not decided online, but assessed urgently by qualified veterinarian on the ground. If euthanasia is not chosen immediately, then absolutely rest is not negotiable. I repeat, not or non-negotiable. That means no walking around, no grazing freely, no unnecessary movement, no filming while the horse is mobile. The horse must be confined safely on deep bedding with professional pain management and nutritional support. Any further fall will be represented, or it should represent a critical welfare failure and an emergency decision point. I want to say this respectful. Marwa, this is not about blame. This is not about social media. This is about responsibility. When you choose to show animal publicly, you also accept responsibility to show proper welfare decision, especially when things go wrong. Showing veterinary reports, explaining treated plans, and acknowledging the seriousness of the condition will help reduce speculation and protect both you and the animal. Our duty is not to keep animal alive at all costs. Our duty is prevent unnecessary suffering, protect dignity, make humane decision when recovery is no longer realistic. Sometimes the kindest treatment is not another bandage, another day, or another hope. Sometimes the kindest treatment is to let it go. Let me advise this simple. This horse urgently needs a full veterinary reassessment, a welfare-based decision, either strict enforced rest with intensive care or humane euthanasia to prevent prolonged suffering. Anything in between risk causing pain than benefit. This is not judgment. This is veterinary ethic. If we truly love animals, we must be brave enough to choose what kind, not just what is emotional easy. Thank you. Goodbye.